Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching Where with Sim again. Hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, not only were we talking about quieter weather yesterday or in the last video, and that's going to be for places like the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, and even the Upper Plains. But today we're going to be going over the storm system that's going to be impacting the southern United States. So I'm not trying to say the weather completely changed. I'm just going to say we're moving on to a different area and we're going to be talking about a completely different type of weather that's going to be impacting those areas. So first of all, I just wanted to show you guys that we do have a few general risks for thunderstorms, including today where we do have a general risk for thunderstorms across Lubbock, Midland, and even a few other areas, but there's no risk area included in this general risk, guys, so just watch for a couple rumbles of thunder, and that will be the main concern today, so definitely watch those areas closely, especially if you live in like Lubbock and Midland. We're going to go ahead and show you guys tomorrow's general risk, and as you see, still no threat for severe weather, but we still got a general risk in play, and this one does head farther south and farther north and even way farther west into Arizona and even southwest Colorado included in this general risk. So we'll have to really watch these areas closely as we get into tomorrow, but pretty widespread general risk for places like Texas, New Mexico, pretty much all New Mexico, and then into eastern Arizona. But down here in Florida, there is a general risk for thunderstorms as well. So we're gonna have to watch closely. But last but not least, we do have a chance for thunderstorms across the pretty much the same area. It just heads a little bit farther east. So we'll have to watch the storm closely. But that was the last thing for the Storm Prediction Center. Now we're going to move on to excessive rainfall outlook, and as we do take a look at that, today there is zero flash flooding, so at least there's less than a 5% chance of the probability of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance is less than 5%, so not really concerning today. But tomorrow the chance for flash flooding is issued for places like Miami, and then on day 3 still issued for Miami, but also issued for pretty good portion of Texas, and then on day 4 still continuing for Florida, but even shifting off east and including these more populated cities in the state of Texas. And then on day 5 it shifts off east. This one shrinks and moves into Louisiana, but then this one in Florida does shift more north and even shifts more east, or I mean west as well. So definitely something to watch for as we get into most likely day 2. So we'll have to start watching for flash flooding in Florida all the days, but even watching for flash flooding in Texas as we get into day 3. We'll go ahead and show you guys the radar now, and what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be going over the storm system that's going to be coming off the coast. I'm going to be going until that happens, but first of all, we got this winter storm type mix that's going to be heading pretty much in the panhandle of Oklahoma and even the northern panhandle of Texas, bringing some snow and mixed precipitation, and then that will head kind of through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, continue into Shreveport, and then head down into the Gulf of Mexico, but then it will start to regain some strength, and as you can probably see, it does move up the east coast, and I mean, that's definitely typical with this El Nino, guys, and we're seeing a typical El Nino right now, where storms will move across the south, then move up the east coast. That's your typical storm track, but we still could see a few different types of like rain and even some snowfall move more north, but that's gonna be a little bit later. But if we could still continue to take this forward, we still have the storm coming off the coast and bringing lots of snowfall for the mountains, and I'll show you the total snowfall pretty much almost at the very end of the video. But if we continue to take this forward, we start to see a storm that heads northeast, which isn't necessarily your typical track, but still it will bring some like rainfall and stuff like that to places like the Ohio Valley and even the Midwest, seeing a little bit of snowfall. But if we continue to take this forward, that will finally head out straight east, and then we start to see some possible snowfall and even some really heavy rain for California. So this is something we have to watch closely, but for how it's looking like, we'll see coast after coast, or you can even call it storm after storm across the southern United States. But still, this is something to really pay attention to, especially for California, which is going to be seeing like the peak of these storms. And what I mean by that is they'll see like the most heavy rain, the most snowfall, and everything that comes out of these storm systems. But even like Texas and the East Coast still seeing some very heavy rain too, with these storm systems coming later. So we'll have to keep watching these. But I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know how the Cloud Prediction Center expects the precipitation to be with these storms. But first of all, we'll look at the temperatures, and as you see, really good portion of the United States under above average and well above average for places like the northern plains, getting into the western Midwest and even into like Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. So all those areas definitely seem really good chances for above average temperatures. But even down here to the southwest, we're still seeing a pretty good chance for above average temperatures, even include like Utah, Arizona, even getting into California, and then pretty much into Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and then moving up into the Great Lakes region. So all those areas will have to be careful about seeing above average temperatures. You'll still need your coat because we're not expecting anything to be significantly warm like in the 60s. It will be more like in the 40s across the Great Lakes region, even though your typical average is most likely near freezing. So definitely something to be aware about if you do live in these areas. We even could see some records highs temperatures as well, so definitely pay attention to that. Now if we move on to the 8 to 14 day outlook, same thing, pretty good area of the United States above average. Besides, it does shift east into the Ohio Valley, and then if you move up north, the chances do increase a little bit more farther east. But still something to really watch for and keep an eye on up here, and even some record highs too as well with the 8 to 14 day outlook, and same for the 6 to 10 day outlook. So watch for some record highs, and like I said, you don't necessarily want to be outside without a jacket. You still want a jacket because, I mean, well above average temperatures this year will only be like 20 degrees above average, but like I said, temperatures won't be like well above freezing. They'll probably be like in the 40s and stuff like that. So like I said earlier, make sure you be prepared for that, and make sure you are still wearing your jacket when you go outside, because it will still be cold even though we are seeing above. Because like I said, your typical average is most likely going to be like near freezing, while your high average is probably going to be most likely like 40 degrees, something like that, maybe even 50. So we'll have to watch closely, but possible 60s. But I think our temperatures will still be pretty cold, especially the farther north you go. Now, if we look at the National Weather Service outlooks, we are seeing not really very many alerts, besides a couple isolated flash flood warnings in effect, and we are seeing a winter storm warning in effect, a few isolated winter storm advisories in effect, or I guess I should have called those winter weather advisories in effect for places like New York, the Panhandle of Michigan, or the UP of Michigan, and then into pretty much Wyoming. But even up here to the northwest, we are actually seeing a dense fog advisory in effect. So something to really be aware about. But even up here, it looks like we do have a special weather statement, or I mean a wind advisory in effect actually, yeah. that looks exactly like a wind advisory, and then even a few freeze warnings in effect, and even that flash flood watch continues for Maine. We'll go ahead and start taking a look at your precipitation. Now I headed all the way across to see what these storms could really be at the very end of the thing. So we'll have to watch later on, but this head that's far out as the end of December, guys, all the way to December 28th, which is really far out. And if we start taking a look at that, okay, I was just making it to where it goes the farthest. And if we look, California seeing a lot of rainfall, guys. Wow, a lot of rainfall. And like I said, look compared to the rest of the United States, California getting the heaviest rainfall and even the most snow, most rainfall out of these storm systems. And I literally said that during the radar thing. So definitely be aware of some possible flash flooding across this area, but still, your guys are going to get the heaviest out of these storms. So beneficial amounts will also be possible across the East Coast, but other than that, definitely be prepared if you do live in California. But yeah, like I said, beneficial amount will be the main concern across the East Coast, about 2 inches, and then even a few 3 inches possible. But even like the Panhandle of Texas, moving through the Dallas area and into Louisiana, seeing about 2 to 3 inches of rain. So be aware of that if you do live in Texas, Louisiana, a little bit of Mississippi, Alabama, all Georgia. Wow, looks like Florida seeing some pretty good amounts too as well, even across the Key West area, but up here into almost Jacksonville, still seeing a pretty good amount. So main concern will be flash flooding, and that will be for California, but even down here into Florida and even a few other areas off the coast, we'll have to watch for some like coastal flooding and even some aerial flood warning in effect. So yeah, but barely any for the Ohio Valley though. Ohio Valley looks to really stay dry until, well, if we take this back a little bit, as you can see, the rain doesn't start for a very long time. It only starts at the very end of the 366 hours. So yeah, be aware of that. We'll go ahead and show you guys the snowfall now, and as you can probably see, most of the snowfall staying off to the east. You guys kind of do get a small break from snowfall across New England, besides about another foot of snow could be possible for Maine, but like northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, in northern New York, you're seeing about 3 inches, and even some areas seeing almost to a foot of snow. But look over here, guys. Look over here. We're seeing about 100 inches of snowfall, guys. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe 100 inches and even a foot of snow across these areas. That can also be known as 112 inches, guys. So that's a lot of snow right now. I did do the math right, so what I did was I divided 12 and into 100, and I got 8 with the remainder, but about 8 inches is about 8 feet of snow is what you can expect over here in the California mountains. 8 feet of snow is what we can expect, okay? 8 feet of snow is 2 feet taller than you, but if you guys want, you guys can also do the math too as well. So all you gotta do is divide 12 into 100, and you will get how many feet of snow there is across this area instead of just inches. And you should get 8 if you do that, because that's what I got. So other than that, definitely be aware if you do live in California, even the areas seeing up to 100 could definitely get completely buried. Some areas possible, or possibly 200 actually. And I did hear one of the meteorologists say some of these areas could definitely be getting up to 200 inches. So I mean, this could be a snow event, guys, a very big snow event for California. If you guys remember last year, and I'm pretty sure this was last year, we saw a ton of snowfall, and all the houses got completely buried in snow, and we had a lot of bad road conditions too as well. Some areas even, I think, saw flooding too as well. So we'll have to watch for another one of those. But if we look at the temperature anomalies, I forgot to do forecast track, and if we look at this, we're going to go ahead and take this forward, and we start to see some warm up across these areas. And as you can probably see, we continue to see freezing for quite a bit across the New England area, but still we still see some like 40s and even some 50s possibly, but we continue to see above average temperatures. And like I said, like I said earlier in this video during the Climate Prediction Center outlook, you guys will still need your jackets because we're not expecting to see temperatures get well above freezing, okay? As you can probably see, temperatures are actually staying near freezing even though we're heading pretty far out. So, I mean, we're still talking like 40s and even 30s, but I mean, that still means you gotta wear a jacket, okay? Some of you guys might feel like you guys don't need to wear a jacket up here because above average temperatures might mean really warm, but that isn't necessarily true. You gotta wear a jacket, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with that, okay? You gotta wear a jacket even though you're seeing above average temperatures. But we're going to go ahead and keep taking this forward, and we continue to see quite a bit of warmth across this area, so pretty much in the upper 50s, and as that finally heads out, we continue to see some cold fronts move through, and still pretty substantial warm ups as well. So definitely something to be aware of. But like even if we don't see very many rounds of freezing farther down south, we could still be talking some pretty good warm ups across the south area, and we even saw that throughout the temperature anomaly. So if you guys live in the south, okay, you guys will see like 50s, 60s, some areas could even see 70s, and that does include Florida. So you guys might not necessarily need a coat or anything. Just make sure you are just enjoying those outdoors, okay? You don't necessarily need to really worry about any layers in Florida because it will be warm, sunny, and bright. But over here in the southern United States, we are seeing temperatures get pretty much in the 60s, some areas possible 70s, okay? And then as you get to the middle of the United States, then we are seeing some like near freezing all the way up into like the lower 50s, and then as you get really far north, then you'll definitely be staying by freezing. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did like my video. I did create a short that it was the 100 celebration short, 100 subscribers. I'm really glad you guys got me up to 100 subscribers before Christmas. That was a very good deal, and I'm really glad you guys did do that. That's very nice of you guys, and I still want you guys to please smash that like button down below, even that like button. So if you guys haven't done that already, please hit that like button, please subscribe, and even leave a comment down below, okay? Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will do one tomorrow.